Welcome to today's episode of Learn English Through Stories. In this video, you will practice English listening skills naturally through a gentle, emotional, and beautifully told story titled, A Morning Cup of Coffee. This video is designed to help you improve your English listening abilities every single day, even if you have limited time. By listening to stories like this, you allow your brain to absorb vocabulary, sentence structures, and pronunciation in the most natural way, just like how a child learns a language. This method strengthens your long-term memory, trains your emotional connection with English, and helps you understand English more effortlessly over time. Today's story is perfect for morning learning. It is calm, meaningful, and reflective. While listening, you will immerse yourself in simple actions, slow thoughts, and warm emotions surrounding a small but powerful morning ritual, enjoying a cup of coffee. After the story, we will explore the lessons behind it and share practical tips to boost your English listening journey more effectively. Now, sit comfortably, take a breath, and let's begin. The story, A Morning Cup of Coffee, Chapter 1, A Quiet Beginning. On a cool morning in early spring, Ethan woke up earlier than usual. The sunlight had not yet touched the curtains, and the world outside was still wrapped in a soft, gray mist. He lay quietly in bed for a moment, listening to the gentle hum of distant traffic and the faint chirping of birds hiding in the trees outside his window. It was a simple morning, but something felt different. Perhaps it was the stillness, or maybe it was the quiet excitement he felt about the new day ahead. After a long winter of chaos at work and emotional exhaustion, Ethan had promised himself to slow down, to reclaim the peaceful rituals he used to enjoy. And so, he decided to start with something small, something familiar. A Morning Cup of Coffee. Chapter 2, The Kitchen Ritual. Ethan walked to the kitchen with soft steps, as if not to disturb the quietness of the dawn. The floor felt cool beneath his feet. When he turned on the kitchen light, the room glowed warmly, as if welcoming him back after a long absence. He reached for the bag of freshly roasted coffee beans sitting on the counter. The moment he opened it, a rich aroma filled the air. It smelled like comfort, like memories, like mornings he once had with people he loved. He closed his eyes, inhaling deeply, letting the scent awaken something inside him, a mixture of joy, nostalgia, and calm. Grinding the beans was his favorite part. The sound of the grinder echoed softly, breaking the silence but in a soothing way. It reminded him of slow mornings in his childhood home, where his father always woke up before everyone else to prepare coffee. Ethan used to watch him, quietly, curiously, wondering why adults loved this bitter drink so much. Now he understood. It wasn't the caffeine. It was the ritual. Chapter 3, Thoughts Over Steam. As Ethan poured hot water over the grounds, a thin cloud of steam rose from the cup. He watched it swirl and disappear, like a tiny dance performed only for him. He sat by the window, holding the warm cup between his palms. Outside, the city was slowly waking up. A cyclist passed by. A neighbor opened her window. A dog barked in the distance. Life was returning. And there Ethan was, sitting still, savoring each sip. His mind wandered, not toward work, not toward responsibilities, but toward appreciation. How many mornings had he rushed through? How many times had he held a cup of coffee without really tasting it? How many days had he lived without truly living? This morning felt new. He was present. He was fully here. Chapter 4, A Message from the Past. On the small wooden table next to his cup, Ethan noticed an old notebook. He hadn't opened it in years. On the cover, a thin layer of dust had settled. Curiosity pulled him toward it. He brushed off the dust and flipped to a random page. Inside were notes from his younger self, dreams, goals, little reminders to stay grateful. One sentence stood out: slow down. Life is not a race. Ethan smiled softly. He remembered writing that during a difficult time in college. Even back then, he knew he needed to breathe, to pause. Yet life had pushed him forward relentlessly, and he had followed without questioning. He touched the page gently, as if touching a younger version of himself. He whispered, "I hear you now." Chapter 5, A visitor appears. While deep in thought, Ethan heard a soft knock on the door. It was his neighbor, Mrs. Clara, a kind elderly woman who lived alone. She held a small potted plant in her hands. "I thought you might like this," she said with a warm smile. Ethan welcomed her inside, offering her a seat and pouring her a cup of coffee. She took a slow sip, closed her eyes, and nodded approvingly. "You know," she said, "a simple cup of coffee can change the entire mood of a morning." They talked for a while, about the weather, about memories, about little joys that people often overlook. Mrs. Clara's voice was gentle, and her presence filled the room with warmth. Before leaving, she placed the plant on his table. "Something to keep you company," she said. Ethan looked at the plant, then at the empty chair where she had sat. The morning felt even warmer now. Chapter 6, A Morning Realization. As Ethan finished the last sip of his coffee, he realized something important. Happiness didn't have to be grand or complicated. It could be as simple as a quiet morning, an old notebook, a meaningful sentence, or a friendly visit. The peace he felt was not accidental, it was created. Created by choosing to slow down. Created by paying attention. Created by appreciating small things. For the first time in a long while, Ethan felt aligned with himself. And all it took was a morning cup of coffee. Lessons Tips for Better Listening. From today's story, here are meaningful lessons. Small rituals shape your day. Slowing down helps you understand more, both in life and in English learning. Paying attention to detail strengthens memory. Consistent listening builds natural comprehension. Tips to improve your listening: listen to the same story multiple times. Don't try to translate, focus on understanding the idea. Shadow the narrator by repeating sentences out loud. Learn vocabulary through context, not memorization. Listen daily, even just 10 minutes. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, remember to practice every day. See you in the next episode of Learn English Through Stories.